The US Constitution says you can't be elected president more than twice. But Trump hears this and thinks, challenge accepted. This is the guy who thinks term limits are just strong suggestions like, don't date your daughter.
Would do that inside the magazine, although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird!
Or don't bleach your skin. Or my personal favourite, don't incite a coup on live television while wearing golf shoes.
They were peaceful people. These were great people. The crowd was unbelievable. And I mentioned the word love. The love in the air. I've never seen anything like it.
But here we are. A president who keeps talking about running for 3 terms.
Well, this is really beautiful. This will find a permanent place, at least for 6 years, in the Oval Office. Is that okay? I was going to joke, General, and say at least for 10 or 14 years, but we would cause bedlam if I said it.
Then there was his comments about Xi Jinping, which was secretly recorded.
Don't forget, China's great, and Xi is a great gentleman. He's now president for life. President for life. No, he's great. Hey, look, he was able to do that. I think it's great. Maybe we'll have to give that a shot someday.
And then we come into 2025.
It will be the greatest honor of my life to serve not once, but twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. Headlines from the fake news. Now it will be to serve twice.
Should I run again? You tell me. There's your controversy right there. There's your controversy.
Personally, I think there are 3 choices. He can go down the VP route, he can go for a constitutional change, or he can go for chaos. The clearest option appears to be that Trump runs as vice president. So Trump runs as VP in 2028. He gets a loyalist like JD Vance to run as president, they win, Vance resigns, and Trump steps into the presidency without being elected a 3rd time. The problem is the 22nd Amendment, or the 22nd change to the Constitution, says,
no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice.
But Trump wasn't elected, Vance was. However, the 12th Amendment, the 12th change to the Constitution, says,
no person constitutionally ineligible to the office of president shall be eligible to that of vice president.
In other words, in plain English, if you can't be president, you can't run for VP either. However, because the law is debatable, to some, it might end up going towards the Supreme Court, and if this ever happens, the final decision would land with them, and Trump appointed 3 of the 9 justices, and with a 6-3 conservative majority, the legal logic could bend or break, and it would become the ultimate constitutional crisis. Not about democracy, but about definitions. What does elected really mean, and does ineligible apply to succession? And if it's up to this court to reinterpret the rules, frankly I think the game is over. Option number 2, he could try and change the Constitution itself. In fact, Republican Andy Ogles introduced a resolution to allow non-consecutive 3rd terms. No surprise, the only person that it would actually help is Donald Trump. However, there's a problem, a good one. 2/3 of Congress are required to vote that through, and then it needs to be ratified by 38 out of the 50 states. Essentially, this is nothing but a pipe dream. It's not going to pass. Finally, there's the nuclear option, and that's Trump taking it by force or disorder.
Are you going to launch an effort to try to delay the election, or was that just a trial balloon this morning?
So, Trump could start off by trying to delay the election, something he's already done before.
Today, President Trump came right out and said it, tweeting, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote.
Failing that, he could also go on the route of just trying to take everything by force.
They were peaceful people. These were great people. The crowd was unbelievable. And I mentioned the word love. the love in the air. I've never seen anything like it.
At 10:50, Rudy Giuliani calls for trial by combat.
Let's have trial by combat.
This is followed by Eric Trump, who claims that the election was a steal.
They can lie, they can cheat, they can steal.
Whilst backstage, within a few months, it would become apparent that the organisers have been communicating directly with Eric Trump.
Hey, brother, we're boots on the ground here. We're moving on to Capitol now. I'll give you a boots on the ground update here in a few.
All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. This egregious assault on our democracy, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
And finally ordering them to go and release that hate upon the US
Anyone
Capitol.
you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down on our to the Capitol. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down.
During that speech, he said the word slaughtered once, killed 3 times, dead 5, destroyed 6, and the word fight or fighting 20 times. There is something else. This could all just be one big distraction tactic, and he's done it before.
But is there something else motivating the president? Tellingly, his tweet came after stock markets fell, as new data showed that the US economy, once his strongest calling card, suffered its worst quarterly decline since the data was first published 70 years ago. With many states still partially shut down due to the surge of COVID cases, weekly unemployment claims are also up yet again. And as infection numbers continue to rise, Donald Trump knows his poll ratings are in decline, lagging about 10 points behind his Democratic presidential rival, Joe Biden.
Some may call this smoke and mirrors. And let's have a look at what happened only 3 days ago.
The Conference Board's March consumer confidence reading coming in at 92.9, falling about 5 points month over month. February's reading had the largest monthly decline since 2021 as consumers weighed that tariff uncertainty in the first month of President Trump's term.
So we see that as a significant move down. That was also driven by expectations. So that seems to suggest that all this uncertainty around economic outlook is really starting to weigh on consumers' assessment of how they will fare going forward.
And then we have the comments of Steve Bannon, one of Trump's staunchest supporters.
I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century if we're lucky. We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. You know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
It's that wry little grin he's got going all the way through that speech, which makes you wonder if he's just doing it to toy with the presenter and the people listening, thinking it's all one big joke. There is one more thing to come out of this from the fake tan man, and that's Barack Obama.
Story, I know it's hypothetical right now, but if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
For his third term?
Boy, I'd love that. That would be a good one. I'd like that.
Oh, Donald, believe me, you are not the only one that would absolutely love to see that matchup. Oh wait, we already did in the midterms when you were first president.
Last week, I called up the United States military. We're not playing games, folks. There's no game. Because you look at what's marching up, that's an invasion. That's an invasion.
2 weeks before this election, they're telling us that the single most grave threat to America is a bunch of poor, impoverished broke, hungry refugees 1,000 miles away.
But this election will decide whether we build on this extraordinary prosperity that we've created. Did you see the numbers on Friday? Did you see those numbers? Or whether we let the radical Democrats take a giant wrecking ball to our economy and to our future. America now has the best economy in the history of our country.
When you hear these Republicans bragging about, look how good the economy is, where do you think that started? Somebody had to clean it up. That's what a progressive agenda did.
Is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
So can Trump run for a third term? Legally, no. But that's never stopped him before. Could he try and loop through the VP role, rewrite the Constitution, or blow up the system entirely? Yes, yes, and absolutely yes. The only thing standing in his way is the Constitution, and the people still willing to defend it. Trump actually run against Obama? And if he could, would he win? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Once again, thank you to all my listeners and supporters and YouTube and Patreon subscribers. You keep this channel going and growing. If you like what you saw today, hit that like and subscribe button. Once again, thanks for listening. Bye for now.